Me and my mates in school, we were just like talking about stuff, how school's going, how everything's fine, blah blah. But there's always those topics, those questions about your virginity. Have you lost it? What are you doing with it? Are you speaking to girls? All this kind of stuff. And I remember one of my friends at that time, he was like, if you want to lose it that bad, just go on Snapchat and just talk to girls on there because that is the place to go when you want to like do these stuff. So my young ass curious self was like, hold on, maybe this is going to be a breakthrough. Maybe this is something that I can do. Now, to speak a bit more about the situation, looking back, I don't think I actually wanted to do it. I don't think there was something where I wanted to go, where I wanted to expose myself to this at that stage yet. But I think it's because, you live in a world where this stuff is considered normal to do at such a young age, and people expect you to do it. And like, when you've got some friends that berate, berate you and talk down upon you because you haven't lost your V card, then yeah, it's normal that yourself is going to go and expose himself to this kind of stuff because you want to feel validation, especially at such a young age. Of course, like, this is the thing that when you grow up, when you're a bit older, you don't really give a fuck what people think about you. If you're leveling up your life or something, you don't need validation from some people about some stupid things or anything. So this was the thing that I struggled when I was younger, was that I just wanted to get this like done, and I just wanted to be that kid who's like, yeah, I lost my V card, that kind of thing. So I do what my friend said, and I went on Snapchat, and I'm just like adding a bunch of these like hoes, you could say, and it's literally like just a messaging, nothing crazy. And then this one girl, it was, I quote, I asked like, do you want to like hook up, and I quote, she said, yeah. And when I asked why, she was like, I just need to distract myself from school or something. At the time, I was like, sweet, yeah, let's go. But like now looking back at it, I was like, fuck, you're not even that good of an option, eh? When someone just says, yeah, I just need to distract myself from something. So anyway, fast forward like a couple of days, we're talking, we're snapping, nothing crazy. And I send a picture of her to my best friend, and I'm like, "What do you think? This is the girl I've got to lose over cat to." And he says like, "Oh, okay." Like, I don't really remember, but like, she wasn't the most attractive girl. All right, let's say just that, and she was a bit. She wasn't big, but she was a bit bigger. And what I was really surprised with was when she was snapping me, she wasn't trying to look pretty or anything. She was literally just like some morning Snapchats like this, and like, nothing crazy. And deep down in my body told me, don't do this, don't do this, you're gonna regret this, don't do this. But myself, I was like, when you don't have an abundance and the only opportunity comes, you take it. You don't think about anything else really. You just take whatever's there. So this is how my mindset worked, and we I think it was we set it up for like a week in the future or something because I was busy, she was busy, whatever. And it was basically set up like, I'm gonna drive to hers. I don't even want to talk about this because it's embarrassing, but yeah, I'm gonna drive to hers, and then blah blah, shit's gonna happen. So we do that. I tell my friends at school, I'm like, yo, boys, I'm gonna lose my virginity, blah 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 blah. And they're like, oh, cool, you know. That one friend, he was like, yo, sick, bro, let's go. The other guys were like, they couldn't really care because, yeah, they were those kind of guys who'd never get girls, if you know what I mean. And he's like, "Oh, show me a picture." And I was like, "Oh, I can't really," just made up stupid excuses. Like, we all know why I didn't want to. And this continued on for a couple of days, just going to school, coming back, snapping her a bit, nothing crazy. And you'd think that through all that time, your body, your mind would say, like, it'd kick you out of this and be like, "What, Jan, what the fuck are you doing? This is a complete waste of time. You're gonna regret this. There is no point doing this." Because when you get into like situations where you're lustful, it's always in the moment. It's always like you do anything. But then once you like maybe relapse or, take some time off and then get back to the thought, your body's like, hold on, like, do we actually want to do this? The best decisions are when there's no emotions involved. And usually like lust is done on like an emotional like pull towards that person, whatever. So when you're not in that situation, that's the best time to decide when, oh, hold up, do I actually want to do this or no? Because when you don't want to do it, you're like, all right, you know what, I'm just not gonna do it. Like I I'm going a bit of a side tangent here, but I saw this chick like twice, all right? I was basically just hooking up with her. And then it was kind of like a plate. I was just spinning her as a plate, nothing crazy. But it was kind of like, I'm gonna go see her for a third time. And I asked myself, like, do you genuinely want to go see this girl? And my body said, like, no, like, I can't really be bothered. I kind of just want to stay at home, read my book, go to the gym, work on myself. Like, because I knew what would happen. And, like, being with someone is like cool, yeah, whatever. But just like sleeping with someone and then that's it. It's not that great, especially when with that someone who's not like fun or anything. It's a completely different story when there's at least some connection and you feel kind of pulled towards this person, maybe there's similar interests or whatever. You guys are just doing fun, crazy shit. Yeah, it's fun. But when it's just pure sex and you're not enjoying anything with this person and you're just there to have sex, it is not really fun. After it happens, you're literally just there and you're like, well, what the fuck? What's the point of me being even here? Do I enjoy it? No, not really. Of course, yeah, the sex is, yeah, great, whatever, but that shouldn't be the, like, there should be something more than just that. So what I'm trying to say is, if you've got like a hookup or whatever, you want to do it with someone that's genuinely like fun to spend time with, if you know what I mean. Not just like some random person, because at the end of the day, if you're good looking, if you go to the gym, you work on yourself, blah blah blah, you're gonna have options. Now you pick from those options. If you have an abundance mindset, meaning that you've got like so many women, right? You've got so many options, and then some women come into your life that a year ago you would have taken them instantly, but now you look at them and you're like, hold on, like I'm not actually feeling like I want to do this. I kind of just I like the moment right now. I don't need to prove to myself anything really. Those are the best times because your brain's telling you he doesn't really want to do this. Now, if you listen to your brain and you're not a stupid Rita, oh, okay, women, I see women, I go, then you're basically going to respect yourself more. And in the future, you're going to be able to like pick out what you want. It's the same with women, guys look at women and, we respect the women that have options. They get, options to go with guys, but they choose not to because they're like, I don't really feel like it. I don't really want to, it's not really worth my time. So you kind of want to get into that situation, that position. But it's more of a side tangent. I want to continue back to the story. So I'm. It's like 3 days from. I think we might have had to reschedule something like this, and I'm driving to school, and I remember this. I step out of the car. It's a sunny day, and I'm walking to class, and I'm in the car park, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, A, this girl's like not that attractive, and B, it's like, just because you want to lose it doesn't mean you have to do everything in your power to do this. There's gonna be options, there's gonna be situations down the line that you can take, but right now, what's the point of doing this? So I think about it for like a good 5 minutes. I'm just standing there in the sun thinking. And without like giving it so much thought, go on Instagram, unfollow, 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 go on Snapchat, block, delete, just so like you can't return to it if your thoughts change. And I remember this like this weight, this nervousness, whatever, got off me, and I felt so much better because I knew I made the right decision. I was like, this was the call that I should have made ages ago and not waste my time with someone that, I don't want to do it. But like, it was just the right decision to make. And at that point and moment, I was like quite proud of myself because I was like, you had the option, but you just decided not to because you knew down the line you would have regretted it. And I would. If I'd be sitting here and that was my first, like, yeah, I fucking would have been sitting here like, fuck. And then I did this, and then I did this, and then, I drove home like a piece of shit, feeling sorry for myself. So I was like, I believe that the thought of losing my virginity was cooler than actually that person that I wanted to do it with, which is not true. Like, I've gave myself kind of like a shit, like this is a really bad standard, but for myself, standards, they gotta be like very pretty, blah blah blah. You kinda gotta get to know them. You kinda wanna know what the person is. Like, I was at a concert, and this like chick, she was kinda pretty or whatever. She like came up to me, and you can just tell when a girl is just like wants to get with you. She was like looking at me, dancing with me, blah blah blah. And I'm like, how old are you? She's like, I'm 24. I look at her because I couldn't give a shit. And I was just like, I'm 19. Okay. And she was like, oh, whoa. I mean, that's okay. That was exactly how she reacted. And I was just like, yeah, nah. Like, I was not interested whatsoever. I was there with my boys. I just wanted to enjoy this concert. So, like, yeah, you might call me out for being weird or whatever, but you'll get into a position where sex isn't like, or it's not, no, sex is like, number one, not number one thing. You can't, it's not the number one thing because you need to have control over it. If you don't have control over your lust, you're gonna be broken and you're gonna like lose at life. So when you can control this thing and when you can decide for real, like, okay, I want to do this, I don't want to do this, that's when the best choices in your life are made. And then, yeah, if you just want to enjoy the moment because maybe you've come to do something fun, then enjoy the moment. Just because an option occurs doesn't mean you have to take it. So these are the things that determine whether you're like a high value man. Is look at, okay, close your eyes right now. Imagine a high value man, whatever. He's got status, he's got money, he drives nice cars, whatever in your mind that makes you like imagine a high valued man. Now imagine some girl comes up to him. Maybe she's attractive, maybe she's not stunning. and he just doesn't really, he's not in the mood, whatever. But he's got boys around him, whatever. He's having a fun time, and maybe those guys would look at him differently if he like slept with them. Maybe they'd be like, "Yo, good job, bro," high five, whatever. But deep down, he's enjoying the moment more that he's there with his boys. He's enjoying the moment, then get off with some girl. Now, you can imagine that this guy, yeah, maybe people don't see him as high value, but deep down, the actual successful people are going to see more value in him than some lower quality people. You can open your eyes now, and it's the truth. I mean, like, look, higher value people are always going to look down on you and think, wow, he did a good decision, or maybe, oh, he fucked up. People that are lower than you and you do whatever you think is cool to them, they're going to think it's cool because, they're low value and they're just doofuses. So this is the thing in life that I'm not talking about the story because I like almost fucked up and regretted a lot of shit. It's a lot of people expose themselves in this situation, and the easiest way to do this is just ask yourself, if there's no one to congratulate me, if there's no one in the world to like think better of me doing this, what's the actual reason I want to do this? And you will probably get your answer from that. Just a quick note, I've got this community. It is the top link in the description. I talk about like how becoming fully masculine, how to improve your dating life, all this kind of stuff. So top link in the description if you want to go check that out. I'll see you next time. Peace out, bro.